We have inputs from the Prime Minister's meeting with the Chief Ministers of the states in a video conference meeting earlier today. In the conference, the Prime Minister gave out a message that the lockdown has yielded positive results and that thousands of lives have been saved. The Prime Minister is said to have told the Chief Ministers that our aim must be rapid response and we still need to follow the mantra of Do Gaj Duri, 2 feet distance. We still need to maintain it, and the state should focus on converting red zones into orange and green zones. So the focus still remains the red zones. The Prime Minister also giving a word of encouragement, saying be brave and bring in reforms that touch the lives of the citizens. But in the meeting, the Prime Minister also spoke about the importance of economy. The fight against COVID-19 will continue, but it's also extremely important to focus on the economy. The Prime Minister saying COVID-19 will remain visible in the coming months. Masks and face covers will be part of our life. Let's go across to my colleague Suraj Suresh, who joins us live from the newsroom with more details of what exactly happened in the video conference meeting of the Prime Minister with the Chief Ministers of the states. Apart from getting inputs on what the situation is like because of the lockdown in each of the states, Suraj, it looks like the Prime Minister has also spoken of a few key issues. He, of course, highlighted that thousands of lives have been saved because of this lockdown. But the key takeaway from this also seems to be the fact that the Prime Minister has said we also need to focus on the economy now.
Absolutely, Pratibha. Now, firstly, Prime Minister Modi held an all-important meeting with the Chief Ministers. Probably he had to discuss several key issues. Now, let's take our viewers through what these key issues are, what exactly he said, and what are the few factors which needs to be emphasized on. Because there are a few things that he's spoken about, how the lockdown has yielded positive results and the country has managed to save thousands of lives until now. But he also added that India's population is comparable to that of the combined population of other countries as well. So probably we have fared well, and we have been speaking about how the entire country has been flattening the curve. So probably that is what we are going to be speaking about. So yes, at this point in time, that is important to look at, how we have flattened the curve and how the population has also played a huge factor in this. He's also gone ahead and said that forewarned that the danger of virus is far from over and constant vigilance needs to be the importance, or needs to be the priority at this point in time, because all the states will have to start concentrating on what could be the after effects, whether or not the virus will stay for some more time, how they can improve the vigilance. Because if at all the states start improving the vigilance, they keep a check on all of those people who have recovered, because there are possibilities that recurrence can be there. So that is one thing. Second, the contact tracing is something which you are speaking about, how the seal down, the lockdown, the containment zones, red zones, these are the areas where strict vigil will have to be kept. So he's emphasized on this fact that this will be the paramount importance for the states to concentrate on. Apart from that, he's also spoken about how several experts have been speaking about the virus showing its presence even after a few more months, or the second wave which we have been speaking about earlier as well. We spoke about how several reports have shown that there are possibilities that the second wave can be seen in India and across the world. Even World Health Organization has been speaking about it. That is why Prime Minister Modi probably bringing out those reports and stating what is mentioned in those reports, saying that experts have said that in the next few more months we might see that the virus might show its presence. It could be a lot more harsher, it could be a lot more virulent, so people should be prepared. That is, the state should be prepared. So probably trying to advise the states to start looking at that direction as well. Now, apart from that, he's also gone ahead and said that masks and the face covers will become a part of our life at this point, because probably social distancing is one thing which he's also mentioned. That let's just read about how he's spoken about do gaz duri, that is about social distancing, 2 feet which is there, that should also be maintained. So social distancing, face mask, hygiene, these are the 3 factors which people will have to follow, and probably it should be part of our daily routine even after we have recovered, or even after we have been successful in flattening the curve. Probably that is what has to be concentrated on. And many people are self-declaring whether they have cough, cold or any other symptoms. Probably that is a good move, because people have been coming forward, they have understood the gravity of the situation, and people are taking it more seriously and getting themselves tested. So probably this is a good sign, and people should continue doing so, is what Prime Minister Modi has mentioned. Now, apart from that, Arogya Setu app, he has been speaking about it, how helpful it is going to be for the people, how they will have to download this app to keep themselves updated, and at the same time to know what kind of symptoms are there, and how and whether or not people are around them, and how they can keep themselves away from the cases as well. He's been speaking about Arogya Setu app in all of his video conferences. He's also urged that people associate with universities. Now, this is a welcome move, because we have been seeing how ICMR has been trying to give permission for several universities and several hospitals as well to take up tests and to bring out innovations. Even earlier in Prime Minister Modi's blog, he had written a blog where he had clearly mentioned that we have to motivate the youngsters as well as people from other universities to come forward and bring out their innovations in trying to eradicate the presence of COVID-19 in the world. Now, that is an important factor, that is an important message going out to all those youth, all those people who have several methods or strategies, or have an entire study wherein they can give that to the government and somewhere help in eradicating the virus. That is what Prime Minister Modi has spoken about. He's welcomed universities, association with universities in ensuring and devising ways to fight the pandemic or COVID-19. He's also highlighted the importance for states to enforce the guidelines strictly in the red zones or the hotspots. So clearly he's also stated that the efforts of the state should be directed towards converting red zones to orange zones and orange zones to green zones. So this is what we have to see. So probably it is important now that the states concentrate on red zones, orange zones, green zones. Davangere has proved its mark that no new cases have been reported. So probably now the states will have to start concentrating on how the red zones can be converted into orange and eventually to green zones. Pratibha.